Have you ever looked at a company and wondered what really separates the good ones from the truly legendary ones? I'm not talking about companies that were born great, but the ones that made that incredible leap. Well, today, we're diving into Jim Collins' massive study to figure out just that.
The whole journey really starts with this one powerful, kind of provocative question. Collins says the main reason so few people or companies ever become great is because it's just so easy to settle for being good. I mean, think about it. A good company, a good career. It's comfortable, right? But greatness, that demands something more.
So after digging through like 1,400 companies and 14 years of data, a ton of research, the team found that the leap from good to great wasn't about luck. It wasn't some flashy new tech or a genius CEO. It all came down to one powerful, unifying idea: a culture of profound discipline. Okay, so let's get into it. This isn't just about being strict or working harder. It's a really specific, structured journey. It's a framework built on 3 core pillars that all have to work together to create that lasting excellence.
It's a simple but powerful progression. You start with disciplined people. Once you have them, you can build a culture of disciplined thought. And then, and only then, do you channel all of that into disciplined action. Each stage is a building block for the next, and it's how you create that incredible momentum. So let's break them down.
Everything, and I mean everything, hinges on this first step. Before you even think about strategy, before you write a mission statement, you have to get the right people on the bus. This is the absolute non-negotiable starting point. And right at the heart of disciplined people is this very specific type of leader Collins calls a level 5 leader. Now, these aren't the loud, charismatic celebrity CEOs we often see in the headlines. Nope. Instead, they've got this fascinating, almost paradoxical mix of traits. You see, level 5 isn't just a style. It's the absolute peak of a leadership hierarchy. A level 5 leader can do everything the other 4 levels can do, but they add that special sauce, that combination of fierce will and genuine humility that just changes the game. And this is where you really see that paradox play out. These leaders are incredibly ambitious, but it's never for themselves. It's for the company, for the cause. They're the kind of person who looks out the window to give credit to the team when things go well, but they look in the mirror to take responsibility when things go wrong. Now, beyond the leader, the next key to having disciplined people is this really subtle but critical shift in thinking. We've all heard the phrase, people are our most valuable asset. Well, Collins says, not quite. This is the famous first who, then what principle. Think of your company like a bus. Most leaders think they need to figure out where to drive the bus first and then get people to come along. But the great companies do the opposite. They focus all their energy on getting the right people on the bus and the wrong people off first. Why? Because if you have the right people, they'll be motivated, and you can all figure out the best place to go together. All right, let's move on to the next pillar. So, you've got a bus full of the right people. Now and only now can you create an environment where disciplined, rigorous thinking can really happen. Now you can finally start to face the hard truths without everyone getting defensive. This is all about having the guts to confront the most brutal facts of your reality. The great companies don't stick their heads in the sand. They don't sugarcoat problems. They look at the cold, hard truth, while at the same time maintaining this unwavering faith that they will prevail in the end. It's a powerful combination. And this is how you make it happen. You build a culture where the truth is actually heard. Leaders start asking questions instead of just giving answers. They encourage passionate debate, not forced consensus. And when things go wrong, it's not about finding someone to blame. It's about learning from the mistake. This leads to the second piece of disciplined thought, the hedgehog concept. It's based on this old parable. The fox, it's cunning, it knows a little bit about everything, and it's always chasing a million different things. But the hedgehog knows one big thing and knows it better than anyone else. Good to great companies learn to act like the hedgehog. They simplify the complex world into one single guiding idea. So how do you find your hedgehog? You have to find the answer at the intersection of these 3 circles. It's about figuring out what you're truly passionate about, what you can be the absolute best in the world at, and understanding what actually drives your economic engine. When you find that sweet spot, you've found your hedgehog. So you have disciplined people, and you've developed disciplined thought. The final piece of the puzzle is turning all of that into consistent, disciplined action. Now, a culture of discipline isn't what you might think. It's not about being a rigid, top-down bureaucracy. In fact, it's the total opposite. When you have self-disciplined people, you don't need tons of rules. You give them freedom and responsibility inside that hedgehog concept framework, and you let them get to work.
And a really quick but super important point about technology. The great companies think about tech differently. They don't chase every shiny new trend. They carefully choose and apply technology only when it can be a direct accelerator for what they're already doing right. It's like a turbocharger, not a brand new engine.
And all of this brings us to the final, beautiful metaphor of the whole book, the flywheel. This is how all these pieces, the people, the thought, the action, come together to create those breakthrough results. Imagine a giant, heavy flywheel. Getting it to move takes a massive effort. The first push barely moves it, but you keep pushing, consistently. Over time, those disciplined actions start to build tangible results. The team sees it, they get excited, they get energized, and they push even harder. And soon, you've created this powerful, self-reinforcing loop of unstoppable momentum. Now, the opposite of the flywheel is what Collins calls the doom loop. And this might sound familiar. A company launches some big new program, gives it a huge push, gets disappointing results, reacts without really understanding why it failed, and then jumps to the next big idea. All momentum is lost. It's just a cycle of chaos.
And this is maybe the biggest takeaway of the whole flywheel idea. From the outside, a company's success can look like a dramatic, overnight breakthrough, a miracle moment. But from the inside, it was never one single heroic push. It was thousands of small, consistent, disciplined pushes that built up over time.
So, that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. When you look at your own organization, your team, or even your own career, are your actions building a powerful, consistent flywheel? Or are you getting caught spinning in a reactive, chaotic doom loop? Because the path from good to great really depends on that answer.